Hey everybody, Joan Zodianz here, and welcome back to another episode of Spiritual Zundayz. As you may already know, I took a very long break. It's been really heavy lately, and rightfully so. But we're going to play a little bit of catch up, so this podcast is going to be just a little bit longer. We're going to go over all the astrological events that are going to happen this week, and then kind of backtrack a little bit on everything that's been happening. All right, so let's go ahead and get into it, you guys. We are in a Gemini season. We have a lunar eclipse happening and a full moon on Scorpio, or in under Scorpio, on the 5th. We have Mercury in Cancer, Venus in retrograde in Gemini, Mars is in Pisces, Jupiter is in retrograde in Capricorn, Saturn is in retrograde in Aquarius, Uranus is in Taurus, Neptune in Pisces, Pluto is also in retrograde in a Capricorn. So we have a lot of things that are happening right now astrologically. So if you didn't catch my 2020 predictions, I will link it down below if you're on YouTube, or you can visit my website at zodianz.com. So let's go ahead and just get into it. It's pretty befitting that we are having a lunar eclipse under this sign right now, because Scorpio is a fixed water sign, which makes it very intense, extremely intense. And people are emotionally charged right now and making very emotional decisions, whether it's for the good or whether it's for the bad. But we all know that Scorpio is also the sign that is attached to Pluto, Pluto being the planet of transformation and regeneration. And I also believe it's the planet of death itself and karma. Okay, so it's trying to bring everybody into this rebirth right now. And mind you, we are under a Mercury Cancer, which only heightens this need for meaningful connections with others and having meaningful opportunities to grow and to expand and to do something that is morally right versus something that is morally wrong. However, we have Venus in retrograde, Venus influencing our relationships with people, how we interact with people. So even though we have these water signs that want to do the right thing, we have Gemini, a mutable air sign, in a Venus which is in retrograde, where there are a lot of people not really understanding the deeper meaning behind people's good intent, if that makes any sense. So Gemini is being a little non-traditional, a little bit of anarchy is going to come out, and they're going to take advantage, or people are going to take advantage of things that are happening when people are trying to do good. So we see a lot of that happening too. We also have plenty of other retrogrades happening right now, so greater changes needed. Jupiter is in retrograde, Saturn is in retrograde, and Pluto is in retrograde. And this really pertains or relates mostly to the officials, to the government, and not really understanding what to do in a time of chaos, and not really being organized or trying to regain structure and trying to regain control, but having a hard time doing that, because Saturn being in retrograde in Aquarius means that the people are rising up and wanting more justice, or wanting something that maybe the government cannot provide, or maybe doesn't want to provide it. Okay, it can go both ways. Not everybody is bad and not everybody is good. We're getting a sense of a reset here, because Pluto in retrograde being, and you guys have to read my blog article, really. Pluto being in retrograde right now, we are seeing a lot of karmic change. Tables are turning. And it being in Capricorn right now, we are gaining a sense of what does government mean to people. And this is really nothing new. You know, society has changed dramatically over many, many years. And a lot of times things need to be forced to happen in order for greater change to happen and more equality and more justice to happen. Okay, so think about that and kind of reflect on the deeper meaning of all of this, because we can only control ourselves and our own actions. Whether you want to be a part of something or not is really up to you. Now, because we have water signs and we have air signs kind of competing for this space, it is advised, okay, it's advised that you guys do the right thing and do what you feel is morally correct for society. And I say that without trying to be too dramatic about it, but I mean it in a way where it's like, take this eclipse, this full moon right now, and do some deep inner soul work. Do some deep spiritual work right now. This needs to be healed. The pain of people need to be healed. The pain of what we're all facing needs to be healed right now. And if we're not all on the same page with that, I really don't know how far society is going to go, or how hard they're going to push to have that happen. You get what I'm saying? And I don't have to remind you that we are currently in a pandemic as well. So we have a lot of healing to do spiritually, physically, mentally, emotionally. There are a lot of things happening. So try really hard to do some of that inner work to make sure you're aligned energetically with what you know is right and what doesn't harm other people. Okay, we don't want to harm other people during a chaotic time. That doesn't help anybody prove their good intentions. And so I'm not trying to pick sides anywhere. You know, when we see frustration, we see riots, we see protests like this, we know that there is a deep trauma, there's a deep pain that needs to be healed. And we need to heal that community. And we need to heal each other by helping that community. Okay, because if we support where the pain is, okay, then we support our society as a whole. So think of it like this. If you have an infection on your leg, and I'm not calling that community an infection, I'm calling what's happening to that community an infection. And you see that it's, rotting. Okay, this disease is rotting that part of your body. You need to heal that part so that it doesn't infect the rest of you. And that's what I'm really trying to get at here. So you can't be mad at one thing and not be mad at another. We have to look at everything as a whole and say, look, the time is needed for a great leader to come, to rise amongst us, to rise amongst us, and to really help us regain that clarity and to help us heal together as a society, as one. What do we need to do? What are the next steps? But again, like I said, because of the multiple retrogrades in these bigger planets, Jupiter and Saturn, we see a competition of power here, a competition of control between Jupiter, Capricorn, and Saturn, Aquarius, where one side is really strict and believes in tradition, and the other side doesn't believe in that and knows that humanitarian acts or being a friend to the world, friend to the people is more important right now. And which side listens or which side wins, I mean, we have yet to see. We have yet to see, right? But all we can do is control ourselves, our actions, our thoughts, and what comes out of our mouths and what we share with other people. And it's about really trying to not dismiss the emotions of one community in favor for another. It's about like, hey, if you have 10 friends, right, and one friend is in pain, do you think it's messed up if all 9 other friends are like, well, we don't care how you feel? It's better if all 9 of them come together to help that heal that one person, right? So, you say what you want, do what you want. You can have your own opinions. But right now, really try to gain clarity and do that deep inner work under this lunar eclipse on the 5th. And I will wish you guys health and safety. I just got a text message, breaking news, but I just got a text message from, I guess the government. I don't know who I got this from. Amber Alert. And they were just saying that, we have a curfew here in our city and they're going to enforce it. So there goes the response from the police, right? Or from our government. Our local government is more like it, not our police, but local government. And hopefully nobody is hurt while they're protesting. And I hope that nobody hurts anybody. I don't want anybody to be physically harmed right now. It's just messed up what's happening. And I hope that everything plays out the way that it needs to, even though we know that this needs to happen. And I know that sounds really confusing. So I'll leave you guys with that. I have a lot of new projects that are happening. I'm going to be having a monthly subscription on my website where I'm going to do a lot more live streaming on there. and doing more video work over there and answering a lot of tarot questions, spiritual questions, and also astrological questions, because I know a lot of people have them, but I'm only one person. So if you guys want to support, that's great. My astrology book is coming out. It's due to come out in August or September, and I'm really excited for that too. We will see how everything goes. I'll talk to you guys next week. Love you. Bye.